Thank you.
I welcome you all for the live program, Conversation with Gurus, Thriving Through Job Market Turbulence, Resilience, Ambition, and Strategies for Career Growth and Success. I'm Ashruta from Center for Excellence in Organization. Firstly, I would like to thank Mr. Sridharan, Director of CEOTSG, and Mr. Kankan Kalita, COO of Center for Excellence in Organization, for providing me an opportunity to anchor the program. Without further delay, let me introduce our wonderful speaker for the day, Mrs. Suba LakshmiNarasimhan. Mrs. Suba LakshmiNarasimhan is an executive leadership coach with credential from ICF. That is, she started her career in TCS, worked in British Telecom, and later she moved to America and established volunteer leadership with the Class Consulting Group, California. She is the founder and managing director of SLN Brand Studio LLP, where she supports organizations in developing high-performing leadership teams, specializing in workplace conflict management and emotional management. So Ms. Suba, she coaches C-suite, D-suite, and E-suite leaders in handling workplace conflicts, and also she coaches in emotional management. She is also an award winner, entrepreneur, mentor, advisor, and a keynote speaker. She currently holds a position on the board of directors in the ICF Chennai Charter chapter. We welcome you, Ms. Suba. We are in pleasure to have you here as our speaker for the day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ashruta, for that introduction, sweet introduction. As well, my sincere thanks to Mr. Dean. We started the conversation, and then I'm here today to the organization and everyone present here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, so without further any delay, let's get into the content or our subject. So, Ms. Suba, what are the major factors do you think that create turbulence, instability, or the uncertainty and changes in the job market in the current situation?
Definitely. Thanks for starting with that question, because that is the core of what we are having this fireside chat today, right? So yes, of course, we have to agree to the fact that job market is turbulent because of the business world, which is in that turbulent state, right? And layoffs are happening. It is real. Yeah, we cannot deny the fact that what is happening around us. So it's important for us to broaden our eyes, our ears, and then look at what is happening and accept it. Right? That's something that I would like to request everyone to do. That let's not be in the denial mode. Coming to your question. So what are the major factors that create this turbulence? There are multiple things, right? See, one is we are in that globalized world today, right? Whether you are a small entity or an MNC, which is you have presence all over the world, we are connected globally, right? So Corona is the best example that we can. It started somewhere in a small town in China, but it kind of spread, right? So it's not only the stuff like Corona, also good, bad, and ugly, everything spreads because we are connected globally, right? So when we say we are connected globally, first thing what affects right now at this moment is the geopolitical situation which is there, right? So if we take an example of Russian-Ukraine war, right, we don't have any direct impact because of the war. Of course, people who were studying, especially I've seen students going to Russia for getting their medical, becoming medical doctors, right? So they go for higher studies. Even MBBS, I know that people are going there. So we had certain challenges in terms of bringing those people in, as a first step. But how does it affect our, the entire business ecosystem? So if you look at it, it definitely, impacts certain, the stock price going up and down, even though we have 1% dependency on the foreign trade with Russia. But there are other countries, there is a major dependency. Since we are depending on other countries, it indirectly it affects our economy as well, right? So one quick example what I can give is, because the globally economy is kind of getting into the turbulent state, our rupee value will go down, right? Of course, then the cost of living is going to go up, right? For the layman, like you and me here, who is buying vegetables, milk, and everything will add up to that, right? And then the second, then this is like how the geopolitical situation affects locally. right? I'm giving a very, very simple examples here, right? So that we all understand what is happening. And then the second is the labor market, getting disrupted because of that, right? See, if you look at it, I was supposed to, do a major programs with couple of organizations. Yeah, everything is on hold. And I'm just giving you an example from my end. Everything is on hold because layoffs are happening, right? Because they want to survive now. Even big organizations like Google, they are laying off people in batches and batches, because right now survival is more important than succeeding, right? So layoffs are happening and projects are getting delayed. See, for me, there is a major business disruption because of many things which are going on, right? Whatever I was supposed to start in Q4, now it's been pushed to Q1 and Q2 next year, right? So if you look at it, a simple entity like mine is getting impacted. Look at the impact that major entities are getting, in this scenario, right? So majorly, labor market has been disrupted, right? And then there is one thing, the reason why I'm keeping it at the end, there is a reason. Artificial AI, Gen AI, right? So nowadays, whenever I utter these words, there is a jittery feel which gets into somebody's spine, right? So artificial intelligence is there, which is taking up many jobs. In fact, last week I was talking to a friend. He quit his corporate career and then he's building something around AI, building a business around AI. Then I told him, what, how are you going to do marketing, sales, and all? He said, what, Suba, initially I may be doing something manually, like having people supporting me, but very soon I will use UI, AI to take care of my marketing and sales, right? So like the critical functions like marketing and sales, maybe the support functions around, support structure around these functions might, artificial intelligence may come in and then take up. So that means people are going to lose jobs. People who are doing those jobs are going to lose jobs, right? So like that, the job market is disrupted because of multiple factors like geopolitical situations, economic landscape which is getting disrupted, how labor market is disturbed now, and the technology, the impact the technology has been bringing in. Even though it is making our lives easier, see, we are able to do it. I'm sitting in Bangalore, there are people from different parts of the world. We are all sitting here comfortably because of technology, but at the same time it is also disrupting what is happening now. That is the major reasons.
Great, man. Thank you. That was a wonderful answer received, and it was crisp and clear for everyone for us to understand. So, what are the industrial demands that you would prefer for the current generation looking for their career growth?
Definitely. So I would like to kind of, call it out when we say current generation, right? In today's organizations, if you look at any organization, in a single group, and if it is even if it is 20 people organization to 200 to 2000 to 2 lakhs, right? In a single group, there are 5-6 generations working, right? That's the reason we are calling it as multi-generational conflicts are happening. Like how you introduce me as a workplace conflict management. One of the conflicts that I see come across in these days are multi-generational. Yeah, because the people who are very senior in the industry, senior in the organization, probably in 40s, 50s, and 60s, right? They have a different value system. They have a different cultural background. They have a different approach towards the organization. Whereas people in 20s and 30s, right, they have a different approach to what is happening around them, right? So that creates certain conflicts as well. The it also creates new demands from the industries and organizations pertaining to specific industries, right? So here I am addressing everybody. Yeah, I'm not really addressing only the current generation like the millennial or Z and all, right? I'm addressing everybody because everybody is a part of our system, right? So that's one clarification I wanted to give before I give my response. So when we are talking about industry specific or industry demand, right? First thing, of course, by default, even when a child would say is like industry specific skills and capabilities and abilities, right? Which are core competencies that we normally call them as, right? That core competencies, first of all, we should be aware of the core competencies a role needs, right? So that tick mark has to happen. We can never compromise on core competencies, core skills, which are important for us to do our job, also succeed, right? It's not just about, the tick mark, right? Taking care of the responsibilities. It's also about contributing to the organization in a right way, meaningful way, so that we can also grow individually, right? So that core competencies are very, very important. And then second thing, like I mentioned, technology. Today, without technology, none of the organizations work. Yeah. Whatever is the size of the organization, technology is, the element which needs to be a part of any organization. Even though some organization may not be having any technological interventions seriously, but definitely if they want to survive, they will start adapting. So what does it mean? As an employee, as a founder of that organization, I should be ready to embrace technology. Whatever position, role, function that I take care of, we can never escape. Yeah. Let's start from understanding technology and then see what else we can do with the technology. Either it could be that, no, I don't have to create anything using technology, right? Even as a user, I should know how to use it, how to leverage the technology meaningfully, mindfully, yeah, consciously. That is very, very important. I would like to double stress on technology, embracing technology part. And then the third one is, which is very, very important, which is communication. Right. See, normally, I hope, most of us are from that, HR or, that background. So whenever we talk about, communication, we only look at it from writing, written communication, oral communication. And then at a senior level, we start looking at it from, crucial conversation, high stake conversation, right? Either this or that. But one of the critical communication, skill that we must adapt is listening. As a coach, listening is the first skill that we become expert at, right? So listening is very important. Listening in order to understand the other party, understand their world, understand them from their world. It's not only understanding what they are speaking, also understanding their emotions, their feelings, and everything about around their world, their ecosystem that they belong to. Then listening will help you to understand them from their world. Right? That's very, very, very important. It is not only a leadership skill, it is a survival skill today, listening. Yeah. So listening will also help you in asking the right question, right? Without asking questions, we cannot survive. We cannot broaden our knowledge. So listening becomes a critical element here, which is one of the industry demand. It is going to be the high level demand going forward. Yeah. And then the emotional intelligence, right? See, emotional intelligence is, it's actually once we understand, right, what emotional intelligence is all about, once we start practicing certain easy to do, the practices, right, habits, if we can build, nobody can stop us from thriving and, succeeding in whatever we are doing, right? So emotional intelligence, it starts from understanding who you are, what are your skills, what are your capabilities, what are your strengths, what are your, areas that you're supposed to improve in terms of being a human being, first of all. And then the clarity on what is the role you are doing, what sort of contribution that you are, doing to your organization. Emotional intelligence is very, 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 very important. When I was talking about questioning, that emotional intelligence comes, plays a major role there, right? And there is another, perspective that I'm happily bringing into this forum is thinking fast and slow. Yeah. We are talking about it, what, AI is there, Gen AI is there, agility, right? Fast, go, run. That is the mantra we are all having, right? Of course, it's very, very important that we are agile. We are achieving everything, quickly. We need, the minute I want to have an ice cream, I need it. Somebody should ring my bell, having an ice cream, right? 2 minutes, you are getting it. We are in that 2 minutes world. 2 minutes Maggie too. We have come to 2 minutes, ice cream world, right? So it's very, very important that thinking fast and slow, understanding what I mean by thinking fast and slow. If we have time, if some questions come around that, I'll kind of explain what is what. But there is a book written on thinking fast and slow. The audiobook is available for free on YouTube. I highly recommend everybody to listen to that. Then if you are interested, you can buy and read also. Yeah. And then collaboration. Of course, competitiveness is very, very important, right? Competition, can be there, but how are we going to collaborate, right? Nobody can survive alone in this world. If you look at, especially in the coaching world, and if somebody's, keenly noticing how the coaching world is working, Marshall Goldsmith is collaborating with, somebody else, who is equivalent to him. All the big shots, known names are collaborating with each other today. They are all creating programs together because they all found out that without collaboration, nothing can be done. Yeah. So collaboration is very, 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 very important, Ashrita. Thanks for listening to me.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Like you have beautifully put across how listening skills is very important and how technology is playing a major role and all, which again makes me to go to a next question, like how technological advancements can impact the job roles and all.
Definitely, definitely, Shita. In fact, I was reading a Forbes article, last week. I was doing some research. Uh, so, in fact, there is one economist named David Otter. Yeah, he has written a report where he says that 60% of today's workers, whatever jobs that we are doing today, right? 60% of those jobs where they didn't exist in 1940. Yeah. See, today, is there anybody here who washes their own clothes? Anybody making idli or dosa batter by hand? Right? We are all, nobody is doing it. Right? So what does it mean? We have started automating certain things, even though we didn't call them as automation, right? Now we have, I think it is not a successful product, or I don't know. We have a, packet where we can make vadas with that hole. Yeah, instead of doing it by hands, right? Just squeeze it, it goes in that form, we can make. So I'm giving you all the small examples to, make us take a little pause and think. When, especially people in, 40s and 50s, I want them to go back to their childhood and see what all the roles, jobs that people were doing, where are those roles or jobs today, right? So technology will keep disrupting many, many, many roles, right? We cannot stop it. We have to accept the fact that we do not have any control. Second thing, if we start controlling, it's not going to be of any use, right? If we think that we are able to control, that means we are not really growing. Yeah. It's not about stagnation. See, today, nowadays, right, in any organization, there is nothing called, okay, fine, I don't want promotion, let me be here. Yeah, I don't want to go there. I don't want to study this. I don't want to learn this. I don't need promotion. Whatever you are paying me, I'm happy with that. No, you cannot stay in that, phase. Earlier times, 20 years back, people used to do that. But today, you will come under that layoff radar, right? So first thing is, yes, technological advancements are impacting job roles, right? And, in fact, other example that I saw was like 85% of the current employment growth. Yeah. In fact, from the past 80 years, now everything is becoming like, technology driven. Right. So no more human is going to work. Like I mentioned that example, right, from my friend who has started his, AI thing. So how can we sell something using technology? Yeah. I'm not able to really, even now, I'm not able to really process that. Right. I have to talk to somebody to sell my product or a service. Right. So how can a technology help in there? Right. But it is going to do that. We all would have seen that Robo movie, right? Rajnikant's Robo movie. So emotions are going to maybe, tomorrow's AI will bring in some emotions in machines also. So we should be open and keenly watch that, right? It is a part of our, we are all evolving. It is going to impact, it is impacting, it is going to impact.
Thank you, ma'am. Like you have given us the real picture of how the current and the future is gonna be, and how youngsters or anyone in the current market, how they have to accept the facts of technology and how they have to embrace the technology as you initially have told. But speaking about technology, and actually, I would say that technology it's making people's job a bit um, less. Like it's supporting in employees in a lot of ways, but still, we are the stability that the youngsters or the individuals are seeking nowadays in their employment. How do you think it can be achieved?
Definitely. It's a great question, Nashita. Thanks for asking this question, right? So like, you in fact, gave the, what can I say, how I can start my response, right? You said that accepting the fact, right? So one step ahead of accepting the fact, make peace with it. Accepting the fact that yes, technology is going to disrupt our world, and make peace with it. When I say make peace with it, you shouldn't have any jittery feel inside. Another example quickly, what I can give is coaching. Now AI is coaching, right? I've spent lakhs and lakhs to become who I am today, right? In terms of money, have spent, see, from 2020 to 2024 till the 23 December, I would say. Still, I'm continuing to learn, but I'm only doing some short-term courses here and there. 20 to 23 end, I've worked like anything in terms of learning, studying, training, yeah, getting myself a credentialed coach, right? So this ICF, International Coaching Federation, EMCC, senior practitioner, whatever you mentioned as a part of my introduction, right? It didn't come easily, right? I've spent lots and lakhs and lakhs of rupees, and I have invested a long hours, right? Effort, a lot of assignments, even my family was, making fun of me, why are you struggling, at this age? Why do you want to do all this? I'm sitting with my son who is in 7th grade and then doing my assignments, right? So, because now, even after doing all this, today we have AI, which can easily coach people, right? So what am I going to do? When AI is going to take 1/10 of money that I'm going to charge, what am I going to do, right? So first thing what I did is make peace with it. Yes, it is there, right? And then, see, this is where, mindfulness practices are very, very important. We are talking about breathing exercises, right? We are talking about listening exercises. We are talking about meditation, yoga, right? So these words are unfortunately used so, fluidly. Yeah. I don't know whether people understand the real meaning of what mindfulness is all about, right? It's not just, sitting, closing your eyes, sitting, in a yogic position for, a few minutes, right? It's about practicing yourself to be calm. Yeah, when you say that something is going to disrupt your life, can you handle it, by having that calmness in your heart, right? So that is very, very important. Mindfulness practices. Yeah. End of the day, communication. What is communication? We talking to somebody. Now that I spoke about listening, we writing emails, we writing, big stuff, right? But one communication we should be very, very mindful of is the communication that we are having with ourselves, right? So when we are having that communication, normally when I ask people, right, which are all the organs that are aligned with our communication? Normally we'll say, what? Mind and heart, right? Mind will, tell us, okay, how that, kind of create some impact in the way our heart is feeling. But there are 4 organs that we are supposed to make some alignment between, among 4 organs, which will help us in that mindful practice. I'll quickly, I would like to take a little extra time here. Of course, our brain. Yeah, our brain processes all the information that we are, we are grasping, we are thinking and everything, right? Then it sends signals to all through our body, through the nervous system. This pretty much we are all aware. We don't have to be a science student to know that. Then the heart part, right? Heart is where we generally say emotions are there, right? Emotions then, create some pattern to, our thinking and all. Then it becomes action. But there are 2 more, organs in our body help us a lot in acting. Yeah? One is our gut. Generally, we say, if you have gut, do this. Right? So gut is equivalent to the courage that we have. So what does it mean by courage? Okay, I'll come back to the courage part later on, right? And then the 4th element, the organ is our lungs, right? So lungs is the reason where the carbon dioxide, oxygen, that cycle is going on, right? The minute heart pumps the blood, right? So then the oxygen, carbon dioxide circulation is happening in our lung, right? So it is very, very important to see, if you don't breathe properly, if you accumulate more carbon dioxide, right, you won't be able to think. Yeah, people with lung infection, right? Why do they become like, mentally retarded or something? Because, CO2 becomes, more. Yeah. So, okay, it's asking for. So it's very, very important that we understand how important these, 4 organs are to be in alignment, right? So that we can communicate well with ourselves, first of all, right? So that is where breathing exercises, right? When you breathe normally, what do they say? Breathe in and breathe out. Then the second step would be breathe in, hold and breathe out, right? When you do all that, carbon dioxide gets pushed off, oxygen gets into your system, right? Then, there is a rhythmic, evolvement of cycle of things happening inside, right? When you do that, automatically you will start thinking positively. Yeah. So this is very important that we practice mindfulness, practices, right? We bring in some habits. And then this is like a little on the, what can I say, on the spiritual side, right? When we talk about mindfulness and all. Then the third practical aspect is in your organization or outside organization, you must have a mentor, sponsor, right? And a coach or a guide. Yeah. You must have a trust circle or a support circle, right? I have that. I have a coach who is coaching me on the coaching competencies. Whenever I get into any difficulty in my coaching, then I have a supervisor. I take my challenges to them. Immediately I knock their door. For sales and marketing functions, I have a mentor, right? On my health related, I have a coach, right? I'm not only talking about the badminton coach or something. For my mental peace also. The minute I feel some anxiety, the minute I feel something, I have a door to knock. Yeah. I really want everybody to pause for a few seconds and think, do you have a support structure now? Do you have a support, trust circle where without thinking, you can knock the door, right? Are you a part of anybody's trust circle? I am a part of n trust circle of n number of people. They know that they can knock my door, right? Based on what they need, what I can provide, right? So it is very, very important that we invest our energy on creating that positive trust circle, yeah, which can help us, without, that stability, even we can survive and thrive in that instability, phase. That instability is here and here, right? Job market is, will be there. So how can we do that? One final thing, I want all of us to remember this one phrase which helped me in my turbulent, times. Be the CEO of your life. Yeah. So I'm not saying that be the managing director or be the board member, because there is going to be somebody on top of you, right? Even though CEO is the top of, the head of the organization, there are people, above them, right? Above CEOs. So be a CEO of your life. It is your responsibility. Take out accountability to whatever is happening around. Yeah. So whenever we blame, normally it's easy to blame somebody, right? So whenever we are blaming somebody, there is one more finger which is, towards us, right? So this finger is strong, right? So it's very, very important that we think of all these elements, Ashruta.
Okay, great, man. Just you started with one line, just a thought, and converting that into stability with the support of other people. And I'm sure that all the participants and people in all the organizations, they are being a support system for someone else, and they also should have a support from others as well. So that, as you rightly mentioned, like the gut feeling, yes, it helps us to take a decision, but to take the right decision, we need a guidance as well. So that was beautifully put forth for all the audience and all. I hope everyone has enjoyed the explanations. And moving on, what do you think the essential strategies for the job seekers? Because in everyone they are trying to be resilient. They want to move towards growth, but they do face a lot of challenges in their career. So, what are the few strategies you would suggest?
Definitely, definitely. See, like I said earlier, right? That industry specific, organization specific, your role, responsibility specific capability, that is a must. I don't have to really, especially to our HR group, I don't have to talk about core capabilities and competencies, right? But, continuous learning, right? When I say continuous learning, see, there is another perspective that which has been brought to my, I keep coming across, one aspect is like, because of the exposure that we have, because of many things. For example, now earlier days we used to Google, right? Whenever we use Google search, if I need some information, I will put that, right? Then it's going to throw some 10 different articles. At least out of 10, at least I would be reading 2 or 3, right? So by doing that, I'm gaining more knowledge. But now with ChatGPT, you don't have to do that research. It's giving you what you want to have, right? If whatever you are seeing, the response from ChatGPT or any Gen AI tool, yeah, I use Copilot a lot, So if it is not giving you the right info, then what do? We create a new prompt. Like how we used to create a new keyword. Yeah, we create a new prompt, then it is giving you some info. That means you have everything ready in your hand. You are getting everything ready in your hand, right? So in that, what there is a possibility of what can happen is like kind of we become generalist everywhere. Yeah. If you look at it in an organization, generalists are very, very important. They play a critical role. But can we run an organization just with a generalist? We cannot, right? So you can never be a generalist everywhere. Yeah. But you should also be a generalist. So what do I mean by that? Whatever you do not need. See, for example, I'm not really too keen on understanding what is happening around us in certain areas, right? I was not really doing any everyday reading when no, Russia and Ukraine war was happening, right? Because it was putting some negative. I was not watching TV. I was not reading anything because it scared me, right? But at the same time, then I can be a generalist there, right? At the same time, I was keeping an eye. Okay. So how did I keep an eye? I was looking at what was happening around, what sort of help that I can do, right? So what sort of help I could do is like, there are multiple, WhatsApp and all we are part of, right? WhatsApp groups and all we are part of. There, couple of, my colleagues, they started feeling a lot of insecurity inside them. They started putting out some information. Since I was doing my generalist job over there, I was able to, immediately share something with them, saying that, you know what, don't worry. There are these 1, 2, 3 ways that we can, come out of these problems, right? So there I was doing a generalist role. When it comes to the other side, right? Like, talking about curiosity, talking about listening, talking about silence. As a coach, it is very, very important, for me to be in that silence mode without jumping in, right? When two people are talking, if one person gets into that silence mode, right, you will see the other person either getting into insecure mode, start blabbering, or start pushing whatever he or she wants to say, right? It's very, very important you be stable, be there silently in that silent mode, which is very important. 1 hour, if I have a coaching session, hardly I speak for 20%. Yeah. So we have that 80-20 rule. I can only speak for 20, I mean, only speak 20%. I should let my client speak 80%, right? So these are very, very important for me. So it's very important that I have deep knowledge as well in breadth, right? So I call it as T-shaped learning, where you're also learning something in breadth, also deep, right? So this is one question I want all of us to, ask ourselves periodically, not only today, periodically. Okay, am I learning anything deep, right? Whatever I'm learning in deep, is it going to really help me? You don't have to have deep knowledge in everything. That is another pressure people are taking. It's like, we say, right? Don't, look at the Instagram post thinking that they are having a great life, right? Looking at photos. And also don't look at the photo in the Aadhaar card and think that they are all poor. Right? So that balance has to happen. That can happen whenever we see. That is the reason mindfulness practices, right? When we are relaxed, when we are calm, we will be able to sit and then do all these activities. Right? Initially, it may take time, but going forward, within a second, within few seconds, you will know, okay, this deep information I don't have to sit with my tab or something, long time. Right? That is something we do. Thinking that we are learning deep, we are unnecessarily investing our energy in things which are really not going to serve us at that moment, right? So we have to be very careful on that, and we have to lessen the distractions. Distractions are more. I am also a victim. Sometimes when I have a long day, I start scrolling something, looking at some recipe or something else, visiting places, and then I end up, wasting a lot of time. Once in a while, cheating is okay, but cheating shouldn't become a part of our life. When I say cheating, cheating ourselves, right? We are not cheating anybody else, cheating ourselves. But that is something we have to be very, very mindful of. And fear. Yeah. So this is very, very important if you want to build that resilience. Resilience is, you have to be courageous to be resilient, right? So where does it start? By working on the fears that you may be having, right? So be vulnerable, yeah, but be very, very careful when you are vulnerable, right? Vulnerability is a leadership skill everybody is talking about today. But how are you going to show your face to the outside world, right? That you have to be very, very, careful about. When you are vulnerable, don't take any decisions. Yeah, don't talk to people if you are not in mood to do that. calm yourself. Again, mindfulness practices will come handy. Do that, center yourself, then be there in that vulnerable state, go and then seek help, right? That vulnerable state will help you. You have to first recognize that you are vulnerable. That will help you in identifying what sort of fear you are having. Is it fear of failure? Yeah, fear of unknown. Most of the times it is fear of unknown. Yeah, we get jittery, when we hear these words like Gen AI and all, fear of unknown, right? So once you identify that, okay, what will help you in building that resilience? What will help you in becoming courageous? That means you should know what sort of fear you are having, label it, right? What are all the feelings around that fear, right? Seek help. If you are able to do something on your own, see, for sometimes I just have to go for a walk. Yeah, I don't take my mobile. I go for a walk, listen to things, say hello to people. Sometimes I don't want to look at anybody's face. I don't want to talk to anybody. Then put on my earphone, listen to some music or some audiobook, something. So that is something I should know how I want to address my vulnerability, how I want to address my fear. Right? Sometimes I may pick my phone and then talk to, cry. You know what? I'm having this problem. Can you help me? Right? So that awareness we can have when we understand who we are as a human being. Right? Before doing any role, before I call myself a writer, coach, this, that, and all, I'm a human being. Right? So I have my own feelings to tackle. For that, I need to understand who am I as a human being. Once we know that, then that building resilience comes. That is the final part. First is acknowledging who you are, acknowledging your vulnerability, acknowledging your feelings, acknowledging your fear, and then start finding the tools which can help you. Yeah? So that's very important. And then please read good books. Yeah. When I say books, please invest your money in buying books, read. Of course, you use gadget. I'm not against gadget, but reading a book with physical copy, physical book has its own impact. Yeah, please read a lot of books. If you don't have that habit, please start from today. This is one request, humble request that I have for all of us here. And then again, that support circle again. Right? That is very, very important.
So, as you have rightly told, how we'll have to make ourselves aware about ourselves to understand what kind of strategies we would be requiring to move towards us, towards the goal or success and all. So, as a leader, what you would suggest for youngsters or current leaders to manage their teams? Because in the current situation, yes, people they have a lot of challenges in adapting to strategies or maintaining the resilience and moving if they are moving towards growth and all. They might face a lot of hardships coming across. So, what are your suggestions as a leader to the leaders?
Definitely, definitely. Okay, thanks for that. See, when I say to the leaders, right? So one thing that I tell everybody, here everybody is a leader. Yeah. Because we all make critical decisions every day, yeah, maybe for our personal life or for our official professional life, right? So whatever role that you are doing, whether you are an independent contributor, whether you are managing a team or not, generally people think that yeah, managers are leaders, right? As long as you manage at least 2 people, then they think themselves as leaders. No, it need not be that. Yeah. So it's very, very important that you understand you are a leader. I'm going to make it really, really short, this. Be empathetic. When I say be empathetic, it should start from you. Be kind to yourself. Yeah. Please do not beat yourself up. Allow you to make mistakes. Allow your teams to make mistakes. It's okay. Only by making mistakes, we identify something, we innovate something, right? So be kind to yourself. This is a hard lesson I learned few, years ago, right? One of my mentors who is very, very young to me, he told me that, Suba, I think you're beating yourself up. We are all looking up at you, somewhere, but you are not looking up at yourself, there, right? So that mistake we all do. Yeah? So that is one. And, of course, I spoke about, how to learn and all. And the other thing that I have started, adapting in the recent times is, for the past 1.5 years is I am enough. Yeah. So whatever I already have, right, I keep doing that consistently. Of course, I'm going to keep learning, keep doing everything, right? We cannot survive. Nobody's going to leave us without learning, without adapting, without embracing technology. Maybe initially we may be cribbing, crying, but one day we are going to do that, right? That's how we all have lived our lives. But the minute you feel like I am enough, whatever I have is enough for me to survive, that put you in that calm, state. That I have started telling every day in the morning when I wake up, right? First thing is I smile because it is a ulta action, right? When do we smile? When we are happy, right? But there are so many things, thoughts with which you wake up. But the minute I artificially, I keep my mouth like this, I wake up, right? Luckily, the room is dark, so nobody knows that what I'm doing. That what happens because of that, I start feeling happy, right? So start your day happily with that happiness. Whatever is happening, yeah, that is going to happen. And second, tell yourself, I mean, this is something that I've started telling is, I am enough. This is a phrase, mantra for me, which is helping me a lot, right? And, as I said earlier, allow yourself to make mistakes, yeah, and collaborate and listen more. Yeah. We have to keep our options open to collaborate. Be careful, be cautious, have a very, very open conversation before getting into any signing up an agreement or before getting on there. But open yourself for collaboration. Nobody can steal your idea. Yeah. Even if they steal your idea, if you are executing it well, nobody can replace you. Right? You are unique. Nobody can replace you. So be open with that. Of course, competition is very, very important because end of the day, only one person is going to be the CEO of one organization, right? So competition is very important, but how are you competing? Is it ethically? Are you ethically doing it, right? Just because somebody is getting into some position by doing some unethical stuff, it doesn't mean that you have to do that. See, these are all, general gyan sort of a thing that I'm consciously giving because as a reminder, right? Sometimes it may be slow, the growth may be slow, it's okay, right? So tell yourself I am enough. Which is my mantra, I'm sharing it here, right? So, these are all, a couple of things which will help leaders, and then seek help. Please invest on yourself. Yeah, it's not, I'm not pitching, but please invest on yourself. Have a mentor, have a coach. If you have somebody who can help you, take it, but start investing time, money, effort, and everything in having that, building that trust circle. This is very important for me, Shruta. That's how I have been growing, Shruta. Whatever I'm sharing here is everything that I have been practicing.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your real life experiences with us. Because that has, and thank you for sharing your mantra also, so that we can also follow the same. Yeah, you had made very clear few statements of how we have to be aware and how we have to be mindful and how we shouldn't be negatively get influenced and how a coach or a mentor can support us with all our challenges or wherever we are going to be stuck in. So I definitely would think these strategies or these small tips which will contribute in a very big way for all the individuals in their career in their towards achieving their growth, stability, and all. So I guess this every all those points would be a very useful uh, thing for all of the participants today who are here and who are going to see the live as well.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us today and conveying so much of useful content and making us aware of many things and all. So thank you, Ms. Suba. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Ashwita. One thing I must tell you, you are a great listener, right? I have been observing, you are not taking any notes or something, but, you beautifully summarizes what I say. And then, you taking the conversation ahead, you have done a great job. Thank you so much for all the collaboration, coordination. To you as well, Karthik, he has been patiently, doing everything. Thank you so much to everybody behind the scenes. I only, know both of you, but of course, there is a whole sort of team who have been supporting you too in making this happen. And, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for that opportunity to Mr. Dean as well, the entire team of the organization. Yeah. See, one question I have got, yeah, somebody has asked me if I can recommend some good book or audio book for mindfulness. Yeah. See, to start with, there is one book that I read. I listened to is The Biology of Belief. Yeah. Because end of the day, our belief system is what is guiding us, right? One of course, like values and multiple other elements, belief system guide us a lot. So, this book is called as The Biology of Belief. Audiobook is available for free on YouTube. It's written by Bruce Lipton. Yeah, that is good. Maybe I'll just type it here. The Biology of Belief. That is one book that I can recommend. Just type it here so that everybody can. And apart from that, there are n number of fantastic books, audio books are there on YouTube. Yeah, of course. And if you're all using any other medium, Audible or something, you can do that. And probably in a couple of months, my book will come out. Please, once it comes out, I'll then share that. Please buy and read that physical book and then enjoy and then give me your. That will be on conflict management, and I've been writing. So manuscript is ready. I'm looking for publishers and then getting it out.
We wish you all the best for your
Thank you.
publish and definitely wait for to read the same.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any
Thank you
other
so much.
questions? Anybody? I can take it up as well.
Participants, any other questions you have? You can post it in the group or you can unmute yourself and you can discuss. I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's
So that's it. We will be closing our session. So yeah, thank you so much for accepting our invite and joining us and sharing your experiences and so I hope all the participants would have few takeaways from our session. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you. Special thanks to you ma'am, for sharing your experiences.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Dear participants, we have one more event coming up on the 13th of April, Lean 6, Lean 5S to Excellence. So it is conducted by, it is facilitated by Mr. Vivekanand. So if anyone is willing to join, you might please join us that as well. Link and registration links are there in our LinkedIn page. So you can please go there and register yourself. Thank you. Thank you so much.